Hey, welcome to this episode of Our American Travel. I'm Melanie, and this is my daughter, Allie or Allison, whichever you want to go by. We recently took a trip to Branson, Missouri, and we're going to tell you the top 5 things that we did there. We're actually only 4 that we did, but we're going to talk about one that we've done a lot in our lifetime. Before we get started, if you could maybe leave a note in the comments if you've been to Branson and what your favorite thing you did was. That would be really awesome. Because if we haven't done it, we'll do it next time, right? Mm-hmm. You have anything to add?
Yeah, I've gone to Branson a lot of times. Out of every trip I've been on, this one had to be the best one. So.
Oh, good. Yeah, we had a good time. Just a girls' trip.
Yeah.
It was fun.
We missed you, Amanda.
We did, yeah. We need our other girl to go with us next time. She probably enjoyed not going. But anyway, yeah.
She went there.
Yeah, we did. If you go look at any lists like TripAdvisor, the number one thing to do in Branson is Silver Dollar City, and we did not go to Silver Dollar City. Why?
Well, last time was not really a good experience. It was crowded. I mean, maybe with it being the first
one on spring break,
and it was a lot crowded. Summer probably has better hours, but
yeah,
I just wasn't interested in being hot.
Yeah, it was really hot,
and I just wanted to do indoor stuff.
For several years, that was our vacation. Mm-hmm. We went to Silver Dollar City a bunch of times, and it's a great theme park. Mm-hmm. I'm going to show you some pictures of us when they were kids, and I was also a lot younger. It's really great. Let me just a few things to let you know about it if you've never been. It's very similar to Dollywood. It's kind of set in the 1880s. You kind of go travel back in time. They have 18 different places to eat. They have 40 rides. They've got some pretty good roller coasters too. Time Traveler, I don't think I've ever ridden that one.
No, I don't think so.
That was their newest one, I think. You can see 100 different demonstrating craftsmen. So I always like to see the glass blowers. It's really cool.
Yeah, I saw one of those in Dollywood last year, and it was actually really interesting because they're a little similar about the Dolly Parton thing. But.
They are. They have 40 live music shows daily. They are open from spring to December. They do take a brief break after Christmas, but they have a huge Christmas thing where you go, they're open later in the afternoon and evening, and the lights are everywhere. It's really cool. We did that one year when Allison was really small.
Oh. Yeah, I went there a bunch of times when I was a kid. I love the rides. I mean, the last time I was there was in 2019, I believe, and they do have some great rides and great food. I mean, the crowds are large. It can be very hard to enjoy everything, but if you got young children, I think it's worth it.
Yeah, they have a whole area for kids.
I mean, if my little nephew Clark was with us, we would have taken him there.
Oh, definitely, yes.
But I think it's more of a little family kid thing.
Yeah, and it takes a whole day, and we were only there for 3 or 4? Yeah. We got there Sunday afternoon, and then we left on Wednesday morning. So yeah, we just didn't want to take a whole day, and it was hot. Mm-hmm. But you should go. It's a fun place. Yes. Definitely recommend it if you've never been. Okay, so the first thing we actually did, since we didn't go to Silver Dollar City, was the Dolly Parton Stampede. And we'd done that a long time ago, but we hadn't done it in a while. And we needed dinner, and it sounded like fun because it's a dinner show. And we were able to get tickets right away. A lot of times they're sold out, but that night they did have, we went the first week of June, and they did have quite a few empty seats. They probably weren't the best seats. So the show, it's this huge arena, 32,000 square feet. I can't remember, I read it, and 35,000 square feet. They have 32 horses. They've got trick riders, really, really amazing trick riders. We're gonna show you a video of a rider going through a ring of fire. A lot of musical productions, special effects, and you do get dinner. What was in the dinner?
It was rotisserie chicken, pork,
a pork
vegetable soup.
It was, but it was a creamy vegetable soup. It was really good. Corn on the cob, and then you have potato wedge.
And I can't remember what else. I knew there was something else.
Oh, you got a biscuit. Really good biscuit.
They have dessert, which is apple pie.
Yeah, but okay, I don't generally like apple pie, and this was apple pie in layered dough with sugar all on top, and it wasn't chunks of apples, and I liked it. I ate almost all of it. You didn't eat yours at all, did you?
Apple pie person, not
yeah. I didn't eat my pork because by the time we got there, they just bring it one thing at a time, and I was stuffed by the end. So.
And also, when I first went there back when I was about 11 years old, they did not have utensils, so you had to eat everything with your hands at the time.
Yeah, that was funny.
And the soup, you had to drink it out of a bowl. This time they included a fork. think they do have some other options, like vegetarian options or gluten-free options to those who have dietary restrictions. The horses are pretty. There's about, like she said, there was about 32 of them, and they're all different breeds.
They're beautiful.
I love looking at them before you came in.
Yeah, you walk in and you can walk by them.
Yeah, even on the way out. And the shows, must see, had some of Dolly Parton's music and their own thing. I mean, I'm a Dolly Parton fan, and she never seems to disappoint.
Yeah, I think everything she does.
Should have worn my Dolly shirt for this one.
Oh, you should have. Okay, the next thing that we did was the Titanic Museum. And Allison and I have been to, when they first started the traveling Titanic exhibits, we went a long time. Do you know what year that was?
Years, 2003 maybe.
Okay, yeah. So, but we've always wanted to go back in Branson, and I thought, well, it's probably not that good of a deal. But it actually was amazing. Did you like it?
Yes.
Yes, I did too. Now we don't have a lot of pictures because the whole main floor you cannot take pictures because it's all copyright information. But once you get up to the second floor, you can take pictures. And things I just learned by studying this, it does have 400 original artifacts from the actual Titanic. And the owner of the museum, there's one in Branson, one in Pigeon Forge, according to TripAdvisor, was on the second expedition in 1986 to go down. I guess he was a part of it, so he was able to, I don't know how you do that with artifacts, but there were over 400 original artifacts. They have a lot of replicas. They did a replica of the Grand Staircase, and they actually used the Harlan and Wolff plans that they used for the Titanic. I didn't know that. Do you remember reading that? Yeah, it was really cool. With the big glass dome, you know, like in the movie where you see Jack at the top at the end when Rose goes. And so it was really cool. I think it must have been more stairs because there weren't very many stairs.
Yeah, there's probably a lot more.
But they had the clock and they had the cherub, whatever. And then you can touch an iceberg, see how cold it is. They have this really cool exhibit. You're not allowed to take video, where you stick your hand in the water and then you start a timer to see how long you can hold your hand in. I wanted to time Allie, and they're like, no, you can't do video. Because I forgot.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was. They had I didn't do it, so I don't know how cool it was.
It was crazy.
They've actually had a replica with some original things of the stateroom of Ida and Isidore Straus. That's who you told me, right? Who were, they were in the movie Titanic. They showed them. She did not want to get on a lifeboat without them. She said they're going to be together, so they ended up staying together and dying.
I think there's a scene in the movie where that's the older elderly couple in bed, and you can see the water flowing through the room, but they're ready to go.
And interestingly enough, we went in early June before the whole Titan submarine thing, and I believe they had information about taking dives to the Titanic, and there's a link on the website, but you can't click on it, it's like gone. So I don't know if they're related because I didn't pay any attention until afterwards. But any other information?
Yeah, well, the Titanic was one of my favorite movies. Came out in 1997. I was about 8 years old the year it came out, and so I finally got to see all of it. 4-hour long movie, but I've been wanting to see this for a long time. And what you do when you get in is they give you like the boarding pass of a real life Titanic passenger.
And who were you?
Margaret Brown, or Molly Brown. So it was kind of a spoiler alert for me, but
yeah, she knew she survived because she watched the movie.
Yeah, and they do, but at the end you find out if your fate on the Titanic or not. And there's also some good exhibits for kids. Like they had some where a child could get to learn about kids who were on board and all kinds of interesting
That's like their focus
facts.
this year. They're focused on the kids that were actually on the ship.
Yeah, I'll have to tell you about the gift shop. Some people kind of avoid those, but I like gift shops. I think I probably spent a fortune in that store.
She did. She bought a lot of books, right?
2 books and shirt and jewelry, like Heart of the Ocean, a little mini one, and ornaments.
You should have worn that with your Dolly Parton shirt.
Dang, I didn't think about that.
Okay.
So it has to be one of the best ones I've seen at any museum I've been to. So
I really like the staff were all dressed like they worked on the Titanic, and they weren't just like people moving. They actually knew what they were talking about. Like the guy that kind of controls people going up and down the staircase, he kind of waits and lets people have photo opportunities. He I don't remember what he told us, but he told us some unique information I'd never heard before. And anybody they've got throughout the museum, they all know what they're talking about. It was really interesting. And we actually saw them changing out an exhibit. I don't know who the people are that work there, but they were doing something. It was kind of cool. But I didn't want to take a picture of them in case it wasn't allowed.
I think with older school-age children, they probably have a good time learning. The little kids might be a little bored because we saw some young children there. They might have been bored. But...
Well, I read on their website, that's one of the questions, that actually kids over 4 tend to really get into it and enjoy it. They have a replica of the where you steer the ship, the captain's bridge. They have a replica of a 3rd class hallway. You can actually, it said you could shovel coal, but we didn't do that. I remember seeing that. So there are things that kids would enjoy.
I think older kids might.
Oh, and it is self-guided. You have a little thing that you hold.
Yeah, that's one thing that keeps me busy, is self-guided.
Yep. It was good. We really enjoyed it. I recommend it to anyone. Reasonably priced too. So. All right, the 4th top thing that I had never seen this before. When I was in Branson the last time in 2018. 19? It wasn't there. Well, actually, I don't know. Did we go on the strip?
We don't really remember much because we were kind of far away from the strip.
It's the Branson Aquarium, or they call it Aquarium on the Boardwalk. And you can see it from far off because it's got this sparkly, diamondy, mirrory, humongous octopus, as you can tell from the pictures. And we went back and forth on whether or not we were going to go, but then we decided. Yeah,
because we had seen Little Mermaid that day, and I'm like, oh,
that's right, we did. Yeah,
my second time seeing it, her first.
Yeah, it was like our water day. We had done Titanic, and then we saw the movie, and then we went to the aquarium. It is one of the newest things to do in Branson, and another thing I liked, depending on what time of day you want to go, the prices vary. So we went after 6, and it was cheaper than if you go in the more crowded time of day, earlier in the day, and it wasn't crowded at all. I mean, there were people there, but they do have this really cool 5D ride. Did you like it? Yeah. It's like a submarine ride.
Yeah, if you get motion sickness, you can take the seatbelt off. So
you're not supposed to take the seatbelt off.
I thought so.
I don't remember. But you can't have kids sit in your lap. They have to actually sit in a seat. I did not get any motion sickness. Did you get motion sickness?
No, it was very short because we had had an Italian dinner before that. So
we'd had a big dinner. That's true. Yeah. It's like kind of like your typical aquarium. They had one thing I've never seen in an aquarium before were seahorses. Have you?
I've never seen any either. I don't believe.
Bunch of seahorses, bunch of fish. They had Nemo. They had the exhibits where you can go under and pop up. They're like the little bubbles, so it looks like you're in there. And those were for kids only, but I did crawl in one on my hands and knees.
I'm claustrophobic, so I don't do that.
Yeah. Had touch pools with rays. It said there were smooth sharks in there you could touch.
I touched a ray, but I didn't touch any of the sharks. I just touched it and I literally put my hand out.
And then crabs? Did you see any crabs?
I think so.
Okay. I did not touch anything. And then they had a different cold water where you could touch starfish and anemones. It has a playground, a kelp forest. It has like the tunnel where the water goes over, and you can see all kinds of different ocean or marine life. Anything else you can remember?
Yeah, there's a lot of great fish and mini creatures. They did have my favorite was the sea turtle that was there. Her name was Miss Archie. Actually, it was a miss, not a female, not a male.
I didn't remember the name.
That was her name, and she was a rescue turtle. And it kind of looked like a mixture of scenes from Little Mermaid, Finding Nemo, SpongeBob, a lot of these shows or movies.
And they did have some cool little things you could like get your picture made where you look like a mermaid or a king triton.
Yeah, there's something you'll see in here with me in there. But it did look like a good place. Those with young children, it's a good place for them to interact with the marine life. And I can imagine they'd probably have a good time.
Yeah, the last thing that we did was go see the play or musical Esther at the Sight and Sound Theater. And the bad thing is you're not allowed to take pictures of the show. Took a picture of the stage before it happened, but the stage is a small part of the set. The set is actually, it's like 180 degrees. It starts all the way on one end and goes all the way to the other. And I was reading about it. It's a 300-foot wraparound stage, has sets up to 40 feet high. And they do different biblical stories every 4 years. Every 4 years, yeah. Because
it takes 4 years to develop them.
Yeah, so they're showing Esther through the end of the year, and next year, 2024. And then I noticed in 2024, in December, they're going to have a Christmas one, which would be really cool. But it was phenomenal. I'm sorry, you can go to the website and see pictures. I'd totally recommend it. I was mesmerized from the very beginning. I got a little antsy because it's 2,000 seats, and I did not see an empty seat. Did you see an empty seat?
No, they were all sold out pretty fast.
Yeah, and I think it's that way every day. and we were in the middle, so I was like, what if I have to go to the bathroom? But I didn't. But after the first 10 minutes, it was done. I didn't have any more of that. They have a variety of live animals. We were talking about that. We saw horses, birds, camels,
dog, llama.
Yeah, the king in the set, he had looked like an Afghan hound.
It was a
right?
dog with long hair, unless the dog had a costume on or something.
And it was so funny because there was this parrot that got on the set, and it was supposed to fly back, but it didn't. It just stayed on this like palace scenery.
Okay.
And we didn't even notice it until we saw a crew member dressed in black trying to get it to come off, and it wouldn't come off.
They had to delay the show for a while.
Yeah, so at the end of the scene, they're like, we have a temporary delay. Well, they had to bring a ladder and a trainer to get the parrot off. It was really funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Bible on Broadway because there's music. I mean, I'm a person who does not really like crowds, but that's a crowd that's worth going to. And even being claustrophobic, I mean, the animals were real. If you see a picture of a mechanical elephant, the elephant is not real.
Yeah, we thought the elephant was real until we got in there and we're like, no, that's not real.
And but the family was real. I mean, there've been a lot of other plays about in the Bible, like they've had Jonah, Noah, Jesus, Samson,
Joseph.
Yeah, my grandparents have seen a few of them. I had some friends of mine that have seen some. So
I think your grandparents have seen them all.
Yeah.
The scenery and the costumes, we're talking first rate. The crowns that they wore were so jeweled and elaborate, and they were big and sparkly, and you could see them from any place in the theater. I mean, it wasn't like it was a little tiny tiara or whatever.
Yeah, and the animals, it's pretty long, and so but it's definitely worth it. I mean, that's one thing. That's worth it. It's worth it. Braving the crowds, getting out in the parking lot was not a problem. They had people directing traffic,
and it tells you to get there about an hour and a half before, and you should definitely do that. If we got a pretty decent spot where we could walk in without walking a lot, but I'm glad we got there when we did. This isn't part of our top 5, but it really was since we didn't go to Silver Dollar City. There is quite a bit of shopping in Branson. They have an outlet mall with a typical outlet mall stores. You've got your handbags, Michael Kors, Coach, Vera Bradley, Tory Burch. They do have a Lululemon pop-up, but they didn't have the bag that I wanted. Sorry.
Yeah, adult bags, popular ones.
Yeah. And they also have what's called Branson Landing, and it used to have a lot of more typical stores. It has a Bass Pro Shop, has some, what else do we go in? There's a big candy shop.
Candy Emporium.
Yeah, a lot of little typical souvenir town gift shops.
Yeah.
I needed some Vaseline for my water pick, and I was able to find it there, one of them. They used to have like an Ann Taylor and a Black House White Market. They don't have that anymore.
There's also a lot of restaurants.
Yes, they had Guy Fieri's restaurant, Joe's Crab Shack, Paula Dean, yeah, which I've still not gone to. My very first video talked about I wanted to go to Paula Dean, still haven't been.
Well, they serve a lot of food. There was only 2 of us.
Yeah, we didn't eat that much food. And they have a water show on the hour, every hour, where they do the national anthem, and we'll show you some.
They have some other songs too, but this one we saw was national anthem. It's Whitney Houston singing the national anthem.
So good.
From the 90s. So.
Yeah, and then they have a bigger show, I think, at night at like 7, but we didn't go back because we were doing it.
It was really hot outside.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, I thought my dress was soaked in sweat.
Yeah. And there's a couple of, like we were there 3 nights, so we ate one night at Dolly Parton Stampede. The next night, in case you're wondering where to eat, they got tons of chains that you can eat at. We ate at Florentina's Italian restaurant one night.
Best Italian ever.
Yeah, someone had told Allison it was a really good place to eat. So we've got some pictures of that. I had lasagna and you had fettuccine alfredo.
The Italian nachos.
Oh, those Italian nachos were. Yeah, we couldn't eat it all. In fact, I saved my lasagna to eat it later, and I never had a time to eat it later. There is a Hertz Donuts. We went there one day, and I've heard from people that the line is usually out the door, but we just got there on a good day and a good time, and we got in
pretty fast.
Yeah, we had to wait in line, but we waited indoors. And then we went to the Hard Light Diner, which is just a diner. I mean, we had hamburger, I had a grilled cheese and soup, corn chowder,
ice cream,
milkshake, so good. But all the waiters and waitresses, they sing the whole time you're there, and we didn't take any pictures or video, but they're all really, really talented. And
yeah, our waiter was awesome. He did like an awesome Garth Brooks.
He did the Garth Brooks Low Friends in Low Places. And then when we got there, somebody was doing Taylor Swift, because this is the year of the Taylor Swift tour. And and I would recommend it. You can make reservations, but also the line.
It backed up, but it was worth it.
And we didn't wait longer than 15 minutes.
There was only 2 of us, so.
Thanks so much for watching this episode of Our American Travel. When we talk about going to Branson, Missouri, USA, as always, we appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to our videos and hit the notification bell. And again, maybe we just talked about where to eat or where to shop. If you can leave in the comments your favorite place to eat in Branson. Or if you've ever been to Paula Dean's restaurant and if it's worth it, because I still want to go. Or maybe your favorite shop in Branson. So thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. Oh, and remember, it's
all about the
journey to infinity
and beyond.
Woo!
Sorry, I'm not Dad.
No, Dad is one of a kind.